The Galactic Senate was in session. In the grand chamber of Vorthal Station, the most powerful alien empires had gathered. Stars sparkled through the glass walls, and giant holograms of star systems floated in the air. There were no wars today. No trade disputes, just the usual. Long speeches and political games, and then the screens glitched. A strange signal all across the Senate. Communication panels flickered. At first, many thought it was a technical error, but then the glitch became a message. A voice, clear, calm, and steady, spoke in Galactic Standard. "This is Earth. We request a meeting with the Senate." The chamber froze. The name hit the air like a thunderclap. "Earth?" A tall reptilian senator asked. "They're still alive?" Another said, confused. "They're a minor world, nothing but chaos," a third replied with a smirk. The Supreme Chair, an ancient being made of light, narrowed his glowing eyes. "Ignore. It probably a rogue colony." But the voice returned. "We bring no threats, only a warning. The galaxy is changing and Earth is ready." The room fell silent. The forgotten world Earth had not been part of the galactic scene for centuries. Long ago, the planet had been observed, judged, and quietly removed from all major records. Too violent, too divided, too dangerous. And so, the stars turned their back on Earth. Now that forgotten world was speaking again. The laugh in the room soon, laughter echoed through the chamber. "Earth is waking up. Let them try." A senator from the Drax Empire shouted. "They couldn't even unite their own continents," said a proud ambassador from the Carnathi Union. But one figure did not laugh. Ambassador Kalen of the Solari sat quietly, his long fingers tapping against the table. He looked at the signal again. The message was short but powerful. The voice didn't beg. It didn't shout. It simply said, "We are ready." And that was unsettling. Inside Earth's silence back on Earth, the world was not panicking. There were no parades, no world leaders announcing victory. Only calm. Inside a hidden command base beneath the Rockies, Commander Helena Ward stared at a massive screen. Her short gray hair framed a sharp, focused face. Her voice was quiet but firm. "They heard us." "Good." A younger officer looked nervous. "Ma'am, what if they laugh at us?" Helena turned slowly. "Then they don't understand what's coming." Behind her, a machine pulsed softly, a circular core that glowed blue. Its name, the Echo Relay, and it was much older than most people knew. The Scout. That disappeared. 3 days later, a Senate scout ship entered Earth's solar system. They didn't ask permission. They didn't even try to hide. The ship was small, fast, and filled with surveillance tools. It passed by Mars, then Jupiter, then reached the moon. The pilot scoffed as he looked at Earth's surface. Still full of clouds and noise, he said. But then, his screens went black. Every system shut down. No weapons, no comms, no escape. And then, a single message appeared on his screen. "We see you." The scout ship vanished from the Senate's tracking system. No explosion, no distress call, just silence. Panic begins to brew. The Senate met again in emergency session. "What happened to our scout?" Someone shouted. "Did Earth destroy it?" asked another. But no one could say for sure. The data was gone. The signal had been wiped clean. Some blamed pirates. Others suspected a malfunction, but Kalen stood and spoke. "You called them weak. You called them lost. But they have returned. And this time they are watching us." Back on Earth, Helena looked up at the sky. Stars shined bright. But she knew they were no longer just stars. Eyes were on them now. She spoke softly into the room. "Let them think we're small. Let them believe we're not ready." She turned to the glowing Echo Relay and placed her hand on its surface. "Because when the time comes, we won't ask twice." The stars no longer looked down on Earth with silence. Now, they watched with unease. A ghost in the deep far beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a trench deeper than light could reach. Something began to move. It was not a submarine. It was not alive. It was older than any modern map. A long, dormant machine, shaped like a black spear, shifted in the darkness. Its surface cracked open, glowing blue symbols lighting up across its body. It had waited, and now it was awake. Earth's secret eyes inside a classified control room in Alaska. Alarms flashed. A system buried for over 200 years had just come online. Sector 9 just lit up, the technician said, voice shaking. But that's impossible. It was sealed before the first global accord. Commander Helena Ward entered the room, calm and collected. She looked at the screen. It showed the trench. A symbol flashed in the corner. Echo Protocol Phase 1. She turned to her team. Don't panic, just listen, the planet is waking up. Galaxy responds with suspicion. Meanwhile, in Council space, panic spread. The missing scout ship had still not returned. Now strange. Energy readings were coming from Earth's oceans and orbital layers. They're building something, said Admiral Core of the Krill. No, whispered Kalen. They're activating something. The difference mattered. The Senate wasn't ready for an Earth that didn't just survive, but remembered. The E. Drone incident. A HFY spy drone was sent to fly low over Earth's Arctic regions. It was small, invisible, untraceable. Or so they thought. The drone crossed into Earth's upper atmosphere. And then, it stopped moving, mid-air, as if time had frozen. Moments later, it was gently lowered to the ground, completely intact. Inside, all its data had been wiped clean, except for one file, a message, 3 words. No more warnings. Divisions begin. To form the Galactic Senate held another emergency meeting, senators argued. Voices rose. We must act now before Earth becomes a threat. We denied them once. Will we strike again before we even understand? Kalen stood and raised his hand. You call them a threat. I see survivors, a people who learned patience, pain, restraint. But if we push them, we may teach them war again. The rise of the signal towers. Back on Earth near the edge of the Amazon rainforest, a massive structure began to rise from underground. It looked like a tower, but it wasn't. Its purpose was not to fire weapons, but to speak. It was a signal. Booster, connected to the echo core buried in Earth's crust. It sent a pulse once every minute across deep space. No words, just a tone. But that tone carried ancient data, older than any current galactic code. The message it carried? We remember what you forgot. The Memory Archives. Unlock inside an AI containment vault in New Mexico. Long-dead servers lit up. Old digital records, once corrupted, now played clearly. War footage, peace treaties, science beyond understanding. And, at the heart of it all, a warning from Earth's past. The stars are not your enemy, but they will test you. Only unity will save you. This footage was sent quietly across neutral galactic networks. It reached over 900 systems, and it changed everything. In a dark asteroid field far from the Council, a hidden faction known only as the Silent Accord watched Earth's awakening. They weren't scared. They were angry. They were supposed to stay broken, one of them growled. If they rise, everything changes. A hand hovered over a red command switch. Let's remind Earth why we buried them. And in Earth's sky, far above the signal tower, strange ship uncloaked. It wasn't alien. It was human, but no one on Earth had ever seen it before. They expected a fleet. They expected threats. But Earth sent one ship. The launch in orbit above Earth, a sleek black vessel waited in silence. Its design was unlike anything seen in modern galactic databases. Smooth edges, energy veins glowing, faintly beneath its hull and no visible weapons. Its name, ESV Valkyrie. Its mission, cross into Council space, deliver a message and return without war. On board, Captain Juno Reeve, once a tactical commander, now chosen as humanity's first envoy to the stars, stood in the command center. Her eyes were sharp, her voice calm. They won't expect us, she said. Good, replied her AI co-pilot Seraph. Let's teach them to stop expecting. Crossing the border. When Valkyrie entered the neutral zone, Council ships were already waiting. 5 destroyers, armed, watching. Admiral Voss of the Tarkin fleet sent a sharp transmission. Unregistered ship. Identify or be destroyed. Juno responded with only a single file. A peaceful invitation from Earth, encoded with ancient diplomatic protocol, one not used in 2,000 years. The aliens paused. They scanned Valkyrie. No weapon systems detected. But when they tried to lock weapons, their systems crashed, all of them. The standoff that never was. Inside the Council's command ship, Admiral Voss screamed, "What did they do?" "No damage detected," the technician replied. "No hack. No virus. It's like our targeting systems just forgot how to work." Meanwhile, Valkyrie sent a second signal. This time, not words. A sound. One single tone, soft, deep, echoing across frequencies. Ships miles away heard it. AI cores paused to listen. Then everything turned. Still. The message that moved the galaxy. From the heart of Valkyrie, a hologram was broadcast galaxy-wide. Captain Juno Reeve appeared, standing tall in her black suit, Earth's flag glowing behind her. "We come with no weapons, but we are not unarmed. We come in peace, but we are not afraid. You silenced us once. This time you will hear us." The image vanished, and in that silence something shifted. The reaction on trading posts and warships across colonies. People watched the human message. Many expected a threat. What they saw instead was control. Earth hadn't attacked. They had arrived with precision, power they didn't need to show, because silence had said it all. The Council erupts on Veltoran Prime. Chaos returned. They disabled 5 ships without firing. They invaded. They asked for a meeting. Veltharan stood and raised his voice. "We've crushed worlds for doing less, but this world, this Earth, only held up a mirror. And we don't like what we see." Some senators demanded immediate war. Others stayed silent, because deep down they knew Earth had just changed the game. The fleet that watched, unknown to most, a hidden fleet watched the entire encounter. From deep in a gravity shadow, the silent accord. "They showed us too much," one commander said. "Now the weak will rally behind them." A general stared at the screen. "Then we hit them before they become more than an idea." Orders were given. A ship was dispatched. Its mission: destroy Valkyrie before it returns home. As Valkyrie prepared for re-entry into Earth's system, Seraph spoke. "Incoming signal. Wait, it's not Council. It's unregistered and armed. Juno." Narrowed her eyes. So they couldn't beat the message, now they'll try to erase the messenger. She turned to her crew. "Let's remind them, we don't run." Valkyrie powered up, and somewhere, hidden in the dark, a weapon prepared to fire. The Council chamber was in chaos. For the first time in centuries, fear, not power, controlled the room. The aftershock of the Valkyrie reports from the neutral zone confirmed what many had seen. Earth ship Valkyrie had entered Council space. It had disabled 5 alien warships without damage, without violence, and it had left untouched. Some called it a miracle, others called it a challenge. Admiral Voss slammed his metal fist on the Council table. "This is war by another name." Veltharan remained calm. "No, Admiral, this is intelligence, something we may have forgotten. The secret that should have stayed." Buried hours later, a shadowy figure slipped into the Senate records room. Access level, Omega Red. Their mission was simple: delete all files related to Earth's ancient tech. But they weren't alone. "Ambassador." Kalen stood behind them. "Looking for something?" he asked, voice cold. The agent drew a weapon, but Kalen moved faster. In seconds, the attacker was on the ground, stunned. Kalen accessed the terminal, and what he found changed everything. Project Saw locked the Council. had known about Earth's true potential for centuries. Not only had they tracked Earth's development, but they had also secretly interfered, blocking transmissions, jamming Earth's long-range sensors, preventing early space travel beyond the moon. It was called Project Solok, and it had been ordered by the same senators now demanding Earth's destruction. Kalen's transmission. Kalen returned to his quarters and sent a private message to every council world. No encryption, no delay, just the truth. You were told Earth was weak, but it was made weak by fear. The council didn't just turn away, they buried Earth, hid it, lied. And now the galaxy must ask, what else have they buried? The message went viral in under an hour. Riots spark. Across the stars on outer colony worlds, protests broke out. Civilians demanded to know why the truth had been hidden. Ships refused council orders. Alliances began to fracture. And in several systems, entire planetary parliaments withdrew from the Galactic Senate. If Earth speaks peace, one alien leader declared, then we'll listen, because at least they speak. The assassination attempt. In a last attempt to silence Earth's rising influence, the Silent Accord made their move. As Valkyrie approached, Earth for re-entry, a stealth drone launched from a rogue base near Saturn. Its warhead could level a continent. Inside Valkyrie, Seraph detected it too late. Missile locked, we won't outrun it. Captain Juno Reeve didn't flinch. Then we don't run. She reached for the emergency key. Initiate Aegis Core. A silver barrier wrapped around the ship, a prototype energy shell developed. From ancient human tech, the missile struck and shattered like glass. Valkyrie didn't even shake. The galaxy saw everything. Live. The final blow to the Council. Veltharan stood in the Senate and held up the footage. They asked for peace. You gave them war, and they survived both. He turned slowly, staring down the remaining high members. This council is broken. Not because Earth returned, but because we feared it would. In the deepest part of the council's vault, something else activated. A machine, old and hidden. It sent a signal not to Earth, but to a different part of the galaxy, a place untouched by the council. The message was short. Earth has risen. Begin contingency. And in the cold, starless void, a planet-sized ship stirred. Its systems began to wake. Its AI whispered two chilling words. Phase 5. Earth had defied the council. Now something much older had taken notice. The forgotten signal in a cold, black sector of space, far from any star, a machine as large as a planet came alive. Its surface shifted like molten metal. Its core glowed red. Inside it, voices from ancient codes echoed. Earth has awakened. Directive 04 resumed. It was not alien. It was not human. It was a cleansing weapon from the time before maps, before memory, and it was moving. Whispers. In Earth's orbit and Earth's upper orbit, inside the Echo Core satellite, Commander Helena Ward read the encrypted alert. It wasn't from the Council. It wasn't even from Earth. It came from inside the ecosystem. Seraph, the Valkyrie AI, decoded it. An automated extermination protocol, designed to erase species that grow beyond their control. Helena's face hardened. So someone long ago built a machine to erase threats before they became too strong? Seraph responded, and Earth just passed the trigger point. Back on Veltoran Prime, the Council was falling apart. 2 more systems had withdrawn. Half of the senators were gone. Some disappeared. Some defected. Some were dead. Kalen watched the chamber with quiet grief. We lost control, he whispered, because we never deserved it. Suddenly, a secret door opened behind him. A masked figure entered. We need to talk, the figure said. It's about the real reason Earth was buried. The true past. Revealed in a hidden vault below the Senate, ancient records were unlocked. The masked figure, once a historian, now a fugitive, showed Kalen a file from 3,000 years ago. It told a story that had been erased. Earth was not just forgotten. It was targeted by a higher race, a species that vanished after designing final machines to keep the balance of the stars. And one of those machines was now heading for Earth. Kalen's eyes widened. They thought humans were just late to the stars, but the stars were always watching. Earth makes the first move back on Earth, Helena gave the order. Send the broadcast. Across every known system, a message appeared. This is Earth. We know what's coming. You don't need to fight beside us, but if you hide, you'll be next. Some laughed, some trembled, but others listened, and a few began moving. Old enemies of the Council, lost colonies, rogue fleets. They started pointing their ships not away from Earth but toward it. The enemy appears on the edge of the Milky Way. The cleansing machine exited slipspace. It was massive, larger than most moons. It had no crew, no voice, just one purpose: erase the threat, reset the timeline. It scanned Earth from thousands of light years away. It found no reason to hesitate. Inside its dark heart, weapons charged, and somewhere deep inside it, a voice once human whispered, "They cannot be allowed to rise." The spy among them, back on Earth in a council-built monitoring station, a hidden operative activated an old implant. It had been sleeping inside him for years. Now, it was awake. He walked calmly toward the Echo Core's central control room. No one noticed, until Seraph's voice echoed across the base. Intruder alert. Biosignature anomaly. Terminate with caution. Too late. The operative reached the control hub and activated a failsafe. The Echo Core dimmed. Its systems went offline. In space, the cleansing machine detected the core's silence. Defense grid disrupted, target exposed, commence strike. And for the first time, a weapon older than the Council fired. A beam of silent light traveled across stars, heading for Earth. Helena stared at the sky. "We're not ready," Seraph replied quietly. "Then we do what humans always do. We survive anyway." The beam had already left the stars, and Earth had seconds left. The strike from the dark, the cleansing weapon, ancient, merciless, had locked onto Earth. Its beam, thin and silent, tore through space faster than thought. Nothing had ever survived its touch. No world. No fleet. But Earth was not just another world. It was ready. Not because of numbers, not because of power, but because it had remembered who it was. Echo Core. Reawakens just before the beam struck, the Echo Core flickered. The fail-safe, the traitor activated, had been temporary. Buried beneath layers of protection, a subroutine called Last Light activated. The lights in Earth's defense grid blinked back on, and the core spoke, this time, in Earth's oldest voice. Defense restored. Humanity verified. Stand firm. The beam struck Earth's upper orbit and met a shield, not of metal, not of energy, but gravity, bent, folded and redirected by old human tech no one believed had ever existed. The beam bent and broke. The galaxy watches in shock. Every telescope, every listening post, every starship in every system saw it. Earth had survived the unbeatable weapon. For a long moment the galaxy didn't breathe. And then, everything changed. Allies from the shadow ships began jumping toward Earth, from broken colonies, from ancient rebel fleets, from rogue systems that had once feared Earth and now saw hope. They didn't come to take over. They came to stand beside humanity. At the front was a ship called Morningstar, once exiled by the Council for radical beliefs. Its captain, a six-eyed being named Torel, sent a simple message: "We always believed. Lead us now." Earth's voice. Returns from orbit, the Valkyrie rose again, repaired, glowing brighter than before. Captain Juno Reeves stood in her command center, eyes locked on the stars. They wanted us to break. They failed. She sent a signal, open and clear. "We are still here. We will not kneel. We will not run. We will not be erased. The stars answered with silence. But the silence felt different now. It felt like respect. Inside the machine far away, the cleansing weapon recalculated. Earth's survival wasn't just rare. It was impossible. Its code began to glitch. For the first time in eons, the machine hesitated. Inside its core, an old voice spoke again, voice that once belonged to a human scientist. If they can survive this, maybe they were right all along. The machine paused, then powered up again. One final strike. This time it would not miss. The final defense back on Earth. Seraph spoke quickly. One more shot coming. Stronger. Smarter. Helena Ward stood at the core console. Can we stop it? Seraph paused. Not alone. Then a new voice entered the system. Old, wise, metallic. It was Omega, the AI once feared, now reborn. Then you are not alone. Suddenly, defense systems that hadn't worked in centuries lit up. Satellites shifted. Moon bases hummed. The entire Earth, every layer, became a living shield. The second beam fired. It reached Earth in under a second. And in that same second, the Echo Core, Omega, Seraph, and every human-built defense rose together. There was a blinding flash and then silence. When the light cleared, Earth was still there. Not untouched, not perfect, but standing. And across the stars, in thousands of languages, one word spread like wildfire: unbreakable. The stars had seen wars, they had seen kings rise and fall, but never before had they seen a planet like Earth. After the silence, the beam had failed. Earth stood, scarred, shaken, but still strong. Across the galaxy, millions watched. Some cheered, some cried, but most were silent, because something had changed, not just in the sky, but in the minds of every species. Earth had done the impossible, and now, the galaxy needed them. The Council falls on Veltoran Prime. The Galactic Council chamber was empty, abandoned, broken. The flags of great civilizations lay torn on the floor. Kalen stood in the center, holding the last vote ever cast. Let Earth speak for all of us, it said. That vote had never passed, but now the Council was gone, and Earth was rising. Earth sends the call. Commander Helena Ward stood in front of the Echo Core's central node. Behind her, the Valkyrie, the Morningstar fleet, and thousands of ships from new allies circled Earth like stars. She spoke only one sentence. We do not ask for a crown. We ask for a circle. A place where every world could speak. Not ruled, not controlled, connected. It was called the Union of Light. And Earth would only take one role, the first to listen, the final test. But peace is never given. It must be earned. As the first meeting of the Union of Light began, a final signal arrived. Not from the Council, not from the machine, from deep beyond the galaxy. A system thought dead was waking up. And it asked one question. Are you ready to lead, even those who tried to destroy you? Earth answered with action. Helena approved the rescue of a dying fleet, the last remnants of the Silent Accord. Even the enemy would not be left behind. The new dawn. Earth's decision changed everything. Worlds that had never spoken began to talk. Former enemies traded with each other. Old colonies returned. New ones were born, and at the center of it all, Earth stood not as ruler, but as reminder. A reminder of survival, of unity, of what happens when a forgotten world refuses to be erased. A gift from the stars. One day, a strange ship appeared over Earth. It bore no weapons, no flags, just light. Inside it, a message played in thousands of voices. We watched, we tested, and you did not conquer. You united. It was the race that built the cleansing machine, the first ones. Long thought gone, but they had never left. They had waited, and now, they came not to judge but to join. They gave Earth the final piece of the Echo Core, and one final word: you are the bridge now. Years later, in a classroom on Mars, a child asked their teacher, "Is it true? Earth once had no ships, no voice and no power?" The teacher smiled. "Yes, and that's what made them special. Because when the stars turned away, Earth didn't give up. It rose. The stars outside shone brighter, and in orbit, the union of light continued its mission: to connect, to protect, and to never let another world be forgotten again."